This is Andy with QualityStocks.net. Today's April 12th, 2010. We're going to be taking a look at NetSol Technologies. It's a NASDAQ stock trading under the ticker NTWK. Let's take a look at the overall chart here. Lower indicators saying in a little bit of a downtrend, getting some mixed signals. But it's to be somewhat expected with this, as you can see, it's sliding back a little bit. A couple reasons I want to look at this chart. I'm going to put a trend line through here. And another trend line. You can see to show that this broke through the bottom side of a symmetrical sort of triangle. See, for the last couple weeks, it's been trading in a channel here through about 80 to 86, 87. Let's say that's 87. It was a high 86 on Friday. You can also see that volume throughout that channel has been sliding off a little. Why these things are important to note is a couple different things. When a chart will break out of a triangle sort of pattern like this and then consolidate, a lot of times it'll want to come back up and test this spot. It'll test that the top side of the trend line. It'll come up and test that area again. You can see right now the resistance levels are, we talk about classic technical analysis, 20-day moving average. It's the middle of the Bollinger Bands, often an area of resistance. You can see it's at it right there. That point also is just from a PPS, from a candle standpoint. You can see that it is also a resistance level. So it's up against some resistance right here, but it's holding this bottom. So what we're going to want to see is 80 continue to hold and hopefully make this a push up, challenge that middle Bollinger Band and this resistance at 87. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of a volume increase. Hopefully this drying up right here is showing some indecision, and it's going to look to do something with this volume and make a move up. It's going to need to probably to challenge this, unless it's relatively low volume. You can see only 88,000 shares traded. So hopefully we're going to see some more push up through this. RSIs are starting to trend up. We're going to want to see them break 50, which it will break 50 if it makes that move north. I think that NTWK has a, as long as it holds this 80, it stands a pretty reasonable shot at challenging the resistance of the PPS and the 20-day moving average. It's going to run into some pretty solid resistance again. When it gets up into here, you can see it channeled for quite a while, for the better, probably a month that is or more, between 96, 97, and probably 92. So it's going to meet some pretty solid resistance in through that area again. Not quite as strong there. It's going to meet some on the bottom side. But when it gets up into this area is where the real test is going to be. Obviously, that's pretty significant gains as it is to come from where it is now at 84 and get up to this 96 area. That's some pretty nice gains. But let's look for a little bit more resistance right through here. About 90, 92 when it gets there. But first and foremost, hold this base, break this resistance, take out that 20-day moving average. Now some of the lower indicators where I say they're mixed a little bit. The PPO and the MACD both trending down, but the histograms both trending up slightly. See through there, you can see that they're showing a slight uptrend to them with it trending down. Also, Just move this line over and do something different with it. See how it almost matches. As that PPO on a little bit longer term has a little bit of an uptrend to it also. I mean, you can draw it this way too, and it's in a long-term downtrend also. I'm looking at it from here to here, basically over this 4-month pattern time frame. The ADX is now it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's not terrible. With this positive DI down low, we're gonna hope we see the turn in the cross and get this thing to somewhat of a trend pattern. I don't really think that this is necessarily a. The indicators are helpful, but you can see things like accumulation distribution has stayed pretty strong throughout it all. At the worst case on this downtrend, it's been channeling sideways. Trick's in a bit of a downtrend, but looks like it's going to try and turn and cross again. Full stow is indeed coming off the bottom, once off the bottom, making a little bit higher of a low. CCI holding above negative 100s. That's why I say when the indicators are a little mixed on the lower side, then a lot of times you have to go look at the candles. It works both ways when you're trading technicals. If the candles are a little bit indecisive and the indicators are very bullish, you'll want to take those and figure that the bullish aspect is going to help push the indecisive candles. When the candles are kind of set up like this and the indicators are what you'd call mixed, I tend to lead towards the support and resistance levels and just use them because this is pretty strong looking indicators. A couple lower ones that are sitting pretty nice too. So we have to go to, if somebody wants to enter this play, look for an entry on this play, try and decide if Netzol is going to make a move north or not. You're looking to the candles in this sort of situation. Very bottom support would be at 75. If it does happen to dip down there, I think you have to look at that as a possible entry point as it's touching historic lows. So when I looked at this chart today, I decided that this is a good one to watch because of if this breaks through this resistance level, I think it's got a great shot at testing this upper trend line. I see it over and over again. Break below it, go up and test it again. So we're going to go from there and see if Netzol is going to make that break. This is Andy with QualityStocks.net taking a look at NTWK.